think we end up valuing what we measure. So if we're always measuring how we're doing a specific thing, we start valuing it more. So if we start saying, okay, well, if we want to measure the true impact that we're having on people, then we start giving that value. And then we start really looking at it closely, and we start looking at ways to improve that and really caring more about it. It becomes more than icing, it becomes the cake, you know? When we think of patients and just users, like the human part of the system, right? And I think that includes providers too. So making sure that we're looking at how are people interacting with the systems that we've built collectively, and are we looking at how people feel in these systems? How can you truly measure if you're able to really have an impact on your client, your customer, the patient's life, if you are not able to access that feedback, if you don't have mechanisms in place? It's creating a space for people who want change to feel less alone, and to have this almost like international, group of colleagues that think like them, so you feel less alone. Because often what I'm hearing from conversations I'm having is that, people want change, but they're often alone in their organizations or they're a smaller team. So by coming here, it kind of refuels you, it gives you that boost you need to go back and say, no, this is possible. And with iChalm, we're able to get a structure, a framework, something that is beyond just an idea or a wish list. It's a methodology, so that it doesn't fall on the person that wants to change it. There's something that they can use and kind of leverage, right, to bring that change in a systematic way, in a way that will stick. And I think that's I'm really excited about that, because I think we're building that community, we're building credibility also by showing examples of cases that do work. So when we go back home, back to our organizations, we're not just talking about this in a theoretical way. We're hearing use cases of successes, but we're also not shy talking about what didn't work, but we're not stopping, right? We're learning from those, we're using those lessons learned. So I think that honest dialogue and those examples that we can bring back is what makes this so unique and interesting. For me, it's this combination of having a framework, having patient centricity, having a place where we can all come together with our different perspectives, sit, talk, build things together. So that's kind of how I look at this. Circles of interaction around it. The most obvious circles are providers and nurses and practitioners that, as a patient, I got to see, I see their faces. But then there's these faceless organizations and stakeholders that I don't see, but they exist and they're there, like insurance companies. So if I don't have the right insurance, well, I can't pay for the drugs I need. If I don't have the right insurance, I can't stay at home during sick leave, and then I'm worried about finances, so then I can't comply to my treatment and all of that. And then as a cancer survivor, receiving chemotherapy, there's this other, bigger concentric circle of the entire life sciences community, pharma, the people who are inventing these drugs and who I need access to their inventions, So even though I don't know who did it or who that person is and who works in that market access, but the work they do has an impact on me, on whether or not I can access the drugs that they're creating, the solutions that they're building. What really worked was that, when I first was going to meet my oncologist, I don't know who this person was. And so you imagine your family doctor is telling you you're gonna have to meet an oncologist because we don't know if this is cancer. And you're sitting there wondering, who is this person that I'm gonna meet? My family doctor, I know, I've known her for years. I trust her. But this person, I don't know who it is. Is it a man, a woman? What do they eat? What do they look like? How do they speak? I have no idea who they are, but yet they're holding my life in their hands, quite literally, right? So you can imagine the anxiety around that, the nerves. So when I first walked into her office, I was pleasantly surprised, because she came in and the first thing she did was, she said, Alvina, my name is so-and-so, I am an oncologist here, I have received your files, your imagery and all that. I have, come up with an opinion of what's going on, but before I get there, I'd like to know, I've never met you before, so, what do you understand of the situation? Like, basically she asked me, what do you understand of why you're here, And that was just such a smart thing to do, because one, it made me feel seen. It made me feel that I could just unload everything that I had been doing, because I had been researching, I'd been reading up everything I could on it. And it gave me permission to share that and say, oh, it's okay to do that. She's not going to feel like I'm challenging her authority as a professional, as someone who has 15 years of, expertise and all of that. So she opened the door to this human conversation about, hey, who are you, You can have a great example of a great interaction, but if you're not measuring it, then you're not able to replicate it. And if you're not doing that, then all the burden is falling on this specific individual, because now I'm going to talk about her to my friends, in the patient community, and they're going to want to go see her.